Tariq or Haq, if you want to accompany the mayor, for the mayor to say a word or two. And the mayor is, me and the mayor, we go way back. I consider him my brother. So, Mayor, thank you for coming to Yonkers Islamic Center. And we really appreciate your presence. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good evening. Oh, yeah. Okay, everybody okay now? I'll have to figure this. Okay, we'll do this right. Thank you. And thank you for inviting me here today. We celebrate Ramadan on its most holy day, where we can spend a little bit of time together. You know, the city of Yonkers was wonderfully diverse. You know, we have over 100 different nationalities that call Yonkers home. There's 70 different languages. When you think about the Muslim community, and I'm a Catholic, our origins, our history is entwined very much. So if you think about faith in the world today, it's sad because we all know what's happening. We also know that there are many young people in the world who have no faith at all, who don't believe that there's anything greater than them on this planet or in this universe. And I do. It's time that we recognize that. We recognize that faith is a beautiful thing, that we recognize each other, that we respect each other for who we are, where we are, where we're from. And change the Board of Education. We celebrate Eid now. And we just had a discussion with someone about halal, having food in our schools, because our kids are like, not really liking this other stuff. But it's all part of the recognition we need to have to share. The world is a dangerous place. Too many innocent people are dying. You know that we have this debate going on. Pray for a ceasefire, and pray that we can all come together as one. And remember that in this beautiful world, it's just about recognizing each other, recognizing our past, being accepted, being diverse, being universal, a true understanding. And it's not easy, right, for a lot of people. But you are here today celebrating your beautiful faith, and you've allowed me to come in to share this moment with you. There was a time in history where that would not have happened, right? There was a time in history when women may not have been here, but we all have learned to love, to change, and to be, and to respect each other for who we are. So I wanted to just stop by, spend a little time here, and like I said, just to wish you a wonderful holiday. To say thank you for being here at Yonkers, because you are very much a welcoming part of our community, very much a beautiful part of the community, and we want to keep it that way.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. And we take off our shoes when we come here, and the mayor have to take off his shoes. And Mr. Mayor, just a reminder that it goes back to the teachings of the Bible as well. When Moses came before the Lord, and he was asked to take off his shoes. That's where it came from. So you are welcome anytime, Mr. Mayor. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for your patience. I know it's time for you to eat. The mayor will hang around with us a little bit, and he's a very humble mayor, very good. The mayor is a natural born leader. In the history of Yonkers, I've been in Yonkers 40 years plus. I've never seen a mayor re-elected 3-4 times. But him. Why? Because God made him the mayor of Yonkers. And not only that, the African brothers, we made him also the king of Ghana.
But they didn't give him the crown yet.
Not even the crown.
Wait a minute.
I got the brush.
Wait a minute.
I got the brush, though.
Where's the crown? I want to see that.
I know one of these days I'm going to Africa with the mayor. So what I did is I was going through my bag and I said, wait a minute, let me bring this hat. So that when we go to Africa, the mayor will wear it. Inshallah.
You sure it's big enough for my head?
You look like the Pope more or less.
Now you have your crown. The party. Okay, they'll be giving us break anyway. When we pray on Fridays between 12:30, 2 o'clock. And he's asking that they give us break in the parking. We control the traffic as far as double parking and all of that. We try our best. So the brothers can park across the street and parking lot. But as far as the parking ticket, that's what we have. Okay, sure.
When it comes to the parking, the police department actually will be very helpful. And the problem is with the parking. That's not the police department. The police department actually maybe sending police.
I will talk to them.
Maybe sending police cars on the parking.
Thank you very much. Julie, do you want to come and say something for a few minutes before the mayor? You can come through here, make room for our friend Julie. Julie is a member of JVP, Jewish Voice for Peace. And they call him for ceasefire in Gaza, in Palestine. So Julie, you are welcome. Say a word or two before.
It's a pleasure to return. Last time, this is my friend Miriam Cho, who's also active with the Ceasefire Coalition. There is a group since February 5th.
Listen up.
Thanks. Since February 5th, there have been a number of Yonkers residents and supporters working to try to persuade the Yonkers City Council to pass a ceasefire resolution demanding a ceasefire so that the massacres and famine occurring in Gaza will stop. And we proposed, February 5th, we wrote a proposed resolution to the City Council. And then some of the City Council members didn't like it and came back with an alternative proposal. So we've been concerned that anything that the City Council writes should respect the suffering that's going on in Gaza and should not try to minimize it relative to the atrocities that happened in Israel on October 7th. We acknowledge that 1,139 people were killed in Israel, a number were wounded, and we do feel, and I can tell you as an active member of Jewish Voice for Peace, and as a Jew, I do feel that Israel's response has been at least disproportionate and unfair. Many civilians have died, most of them women and children. I don't think that's an appropriate way to wage a war against a political party or against the militia. And we need to get a ceasefire. So around the country, city after city, there's been over 105 resolutions passed, have successfully passed ceasefire resolutions. We've been negotiating for the wording of the one with the Yonkers City Council. Most of our objections were, wait a minute, don't minimize what's happening to the people in Gaza, please. Yes, October 7th was bad in Israel, but just the way nothing justifies attacking civilians by Hamas, nothing justifies attacking civilians by the state of Israel. So, We had hoped to come to agreement. I would say we were very close in the next to the last version of the resolution that the Yonkers City Council proposed. They wanted us to make a few more changes in ours. We made a few more changes in ours. And then they came back with a resolution that has some wording in it that I don't think would be acceptable to anyone with Palestinian background. Is there anyone in this room whose background is from Palestine? We're all Palestinians. Me too. Okay. So the Yonkers City Council did something a little peculiar in their resolution. They added a line saying, "We recognize Israel as a democratic state." Now that line has been a sticking point for Palestinians for years, since it was first introduced. I think it was 2011. Netanyahu suddenly added that demand to what he was asking Palestinians supposedly negotiating a two-state solution. What it means, just very briefly, what it means legally is that if it's a, I know people are impatient to eat, I'm sorry. If Israel is defined as a Jewish state, it means that Palestinians have no right of return. It means that Christians, non-Jews, Muslims are a subject rather than a self-determining population. And it's just unacceptable to say that. And besides which, it's a very peculiar statement to say that the city of Yonkers recognizes the state of Israel as a Jewish state. Normally, the only entity that can recognize a state is another state. What it means to recognize a state is that you exchange embassies, you exchange ambassadors. You define that other state as having all the rights of states. So it's not really in Yonkers. Yonkers really is in a position to recognize a state. And I'm concerned that that was inserted in order to make the statement unacceptable, because most of the rest of it, even if they do minimize the casualties,